House of the Dragon Season 2 is over, and I'm very sad for it. I've never seen so many complainers, alright? So many whiners. Do you remember the early seasons of Game of Thrones? There was hardly any battles. There was hardly anything going on. Most times is because of budget reasons. But like, think of like Season 2 Game of Thrones. The only notable big epic battle moment I can think of in Season 2 of Game of Thrones was Tyrion blowing up the Blackwater stuff. What is it they call it, Blackwater? No. Blackwater Bay? That sounds right, but yeah. Yeah, Blackwater Bay. Yeah. In Season 1, there's nothing. They had to skip it. There was a battle, technically in the books. But in the show, they had to skip it. Because of the budget, they couldn't handle it. I don't know. I'd much rather them taking their time with the story. You know? Let me enjoy all these characters, thank you very much. Anyways, the finale dropped. And we got a lot of foreshadowing, and there is one thing before I rip into everyone who's just being a little baby about this. I do need to talk about Daemon's little fever dream. He saw the future. He saw the future, and it makes me question things. They keep talking about the future, like the actual Game of Thrones show, and for a while I thought maybe they're just gonna nod to it. But they keep doing it. They keep talking about the future. It started with like Viserys's dragon knife. That was the same knife that Arya used to kill the Night King in the OG show. And then they kept talking about Aegon's dream. It's been a thing that they just keep talking about, and we keep hinting towards the actual original show. And now, Daemon saw the future using the weirwood tree, the little spooky magic tree that's in the universe of Game of Thrones. He touches it to finally complete his therapy sessions. He touches the tree, and he sees the White Walkers, which is, I guess the budget ran out on that White Walker, sadly, but. He sees White Walkers. He sees Dany and her dragons, her eggs, and it is such a makes me question things, because we all know how it ends. You would think they would try to stay away from the original show because of how god awful that ending was. Because like if they keep doing this, it kind of I don't know. It kind of takes away from the impact of the moments in House of the Dragon, because we all know how god awful the ending was. It wasn't a Targaryen that finished it off. It was Arya Stark. Had nothing to do with a Targaryen. So why are we getting all these visions and whatnot? Now I have a crackpot theory that I don't really believe in necessarily. It's kind of interesting that they keep hinting towards the future in the show, yet we all know how it ends, and I find that very interesting. I wonder if they have a plan to remake the show, Game of Thrones. Oh yeah, I forgot. Bloodraven. Bloodraven looks completely different in this vision. He didn't. First off, in the OG show, he was just some old guy. He didn't have his cool birthmark that made him Bloodraven to begin with, but Daemon sees Bloodraven, and he's just a completely different dude. I don't know. I would like them to reboot Game of Thrones, try their hand at it once again, see where it goes. That'd be cool. That is just a crackpot theory, by the way. I don't think it'll happen. I'm just saying it would be cool. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the best plot line in the entire season. Okay? The entire season we had a couple therapy sessions with our boy Daemon. Now, prior to Season 2, I didn't really care about Daemon. Alright? A lot of people fantasize about him for some weird reason. Mostly because the actor The actor, a lot of people really like the actor. All right, but Daemon was very one note prior to season 2. Okay, he's very one note. Sure, the most complex part about Daemon is his love for his brother prior to season 2. Like, sure, all right, he loves his brother, but besides that, he's an awful human being. He manipulated his niece. He killed his wife. Whether intentionally or not, he definitely killed his wife. Among multiple other heinous acts. He ends up choking Rhaenyra by the end of season 1 because of his anger issues. He never was able to figure out that part of himself. He was just always an angry boy, and when he gets angry, he gets violent. So, moving forward, they had to change his character a little bit. Give him some form of arc, or I would get pretty bored of Daemon pretty damn fast if they didn't change him. If he's just this pissy, angry boy the entire TV show, I would not enjoy that at all. But this is Game of Thrones. It's all about character development, so I expected something out of it. And I'm still not like a Daemon fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I loved the arc that they gave him because he desperately needed some form of arc moving forward. And season 2, that's all. It's all about that. Daemon is somebody who, when he has a problem, he fights it head on. You know, he's not all about that emotions. All right, he's not all about any of that emotions. All right, he wants to fight his problems straight on, and that is the perfect character to throw in some magical witch voodoo stuff. All right, he can't run away from his problems if they're happening in his noggin, and he's having trippy visions due to magical voodoo witch stuff. All right, perfect character to put in that situation because he does not handle it well. So Daemon goes to Harrenhal to raise an army for Rhaenyra, and Harrenhal is like haunted, they say, because Aegon, the very first Targaryen conqueror, came in and burnt the castle to the ground. Prior to that, the castle was the biggest castle on the continent. Aegon burnt it, and everyone living in it. And ever since then, it's been cursed. It's been haunted. Every family that's owned Harrenhal has died out. And we meet this character named Alice Rivers, who's like this spooky witch who makes Daemon trip balls. And he has, for the rest of the season, he has like therapy sessions essentially with this lady, and we show that he has an extremely guilty mind. He regrets not being there for his brother when he was mourning the death of his wife and son. He sees his other dead wife. He goes through a lot of therapy, essentially. And by the end of the season, he pledges his support fully to Rhaenyra. And it's kind of beautiful in a way, okay? Listen, I'm not a fan of Daemon, but that was kind of beautiful. And every single episode that released, I watched those comments, okay? Every single episode that released, everybody was complaining that they murked his character. That man had the biggest character arc since the start of this whole TV show. That man had the biggest character arc this season, and he desperately needed it, I'm telling you, dude. Every single episode, everyone was complaining that the Harrenhal scenes were the most boring part of the show. Are you telling me you don't want them to add magic to the show? Are you telling me you just want epic battles and crazy set pieces? Is that what you want? Because that's all the later half of Game of Thrones is. That's all they got going for them. Go watch season 6 through 8, please. I also saw a lot of people complain about the pacing of it. It's too slow. My point still stands. Go watch season 6 through 8. Some say arguably season 5, but honestly, I saw the cracks in season 5 of Game of Thrones. The cracks were there, but it was still enough for me to enjoy. Alright, they did do my boy Stannis dirty, but that was kind of an epic scene. I won't lie. I was still hyped. Alright, I was still hyped when I saw Stannis just look death head on and pull out his sword and was ready. You know, that was still kind of hype. All right, if they truly wanted to, they could just breeze past. Like, the House of the Dragon chapters in Fire and Blood is hardly anything. You know, they could just zoom right past it, but they don't want to. They want to marinate all the characters and all the story beats and have us spend time with this story before it's over, because it's a short one. Daemon is still not even close to one of my favorite characters, but I appreciate the arc that they gave him. I loved that ending where Rhaenyra tells him, like, hey, you sound like my father. And I think that's just a nice touch. Daemon, after going through that arc, I think that's a really nice touch to put on. Also, it's really nice to see our boy Paddy again, playing Viserys. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that, but it's very nice to see him again. That's my boy right there. So far, my favorite characters are still Viserys, Alicent, and Rhaenys. I know Rhaenys is gonna get replaced eventually, but those three characters, man. Can we just say that Simon Strong is a real one? All right, that guy straight up suspected some treason happening, and he immediately wrote to the queen. Like, he didn't need to do that. He's still, like, kind of neutral. Like, he did give up his castle, but it's not like he had a choice in the matter. His reasoning for joining Daemon is simply because he hated his nephew, Loras. He didn't need to write to the queen, but he did. That guy is an absolute G, okay? But it ends with Rhaenyra showing up because she didn't know what to expect with Daemon, because Daemon and her hasn't talked the entire season. He left Dragonstone to go raise an army, but she didn't know what was going to happen once he got that army raised. So she showed up to Harrenhal, and Daemon's like, hey, my queen, I have this army for you. And he pledges his support to Rhaenyra. Oh yeah. I almost forgot. I don't write any of these videos, by the way. It's just me ranting to the camera, by the way. But I do love the symbolism at the ending shot of Alicent, right? Alicent wants to be free. She wants to finally be free of all the politicking and all the mess of King's Landing. She wants to escape with Helena. And the ending shot is her looking off. I think it was the ocean. She's looking off towards the ocean, and it's a very wide shot, and she's free. She's open. It's open. It's vast, and she's free. And then Rhaenyra, the little, like, the shelves of all the scrolls, it covers Rhaenyra, and it looks like almost like a jail cell, and it shows that Rhaenyra she's trapped by this political game, and the roles of Rhaenyra and Alicent has flipped. Corlys lost everything. And being a man who spent his entire, it's like that feeling of like a businessman, right? Who created his entire company from the ground up, and he spent his entire life focusing on his career, only to realize that he truly wanted a family to begin with, you know. And he's starting to realize that, so he started to focus on his bastard sons more, because that's all he's got. And at least one of it, I think it's Adam. Adam doesn't like that. Adam grew up on the streets. I hope it's Adam. Sorry, it's Alan. Yeah, it's Alan. Alan Valerian. Adam understands it, right? Adam's the other one. Adam claimed to see smoke. Adam understands the situation, but Alan's hurt by it because he grew up on the streets. He barely was able to get enough food. He was basically starved his entire childhood, and he resents his father because he saw his father roam in the streets with his heir, and he gave him all these gifts, and he made sure, you know, he put him up on such a high pedestal while Alan was starving on the side of the curb, you know. I would be resentful too. But yeah, this season was much more slow than I expected, and I'm fine with that. But yes, this season's great. I hope you guys all enjoyed my little rant. This season's fantastic. Go watch House of the Dragon if you haven't, and if you haven't, I don't know why you're watching this video, but just go watch House of the Dragon. It's great. It's a good show. People complain about none. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll see you all later.